President Biden served under 7 presidential administrations. He also served 2 terms as the vice president under President Obama. He's the 46th president of the United States. Interestingly, if you look at our list of presidents, each president has one number, no matter if they serve 2 terms or 1. President Biden will always be number 46. As someone who was a Republican for most of his life, I disaffiliated in 2016 as soon as it was clear Trump would be the nominee. I would still like to thank President Biden for his service to our country. Our political worldviews are completely different, but I still respect his service and I respect him as a person. President Biden, thank you for your service to our country. We're a stronger nation because of you. As I've been watching the news commentary on President Biden's decision, I heard a quote from J.D. Vance, which is as follows, and I quote, "Joe Biden has been the worst president in my lifetime, and Kamala Harris has been right there with him every step of the way. Over the last 4 years, she co-signed Biden's open border and green scam policies that drove up the cost of housing and groceries. She owns all of these failures, and she lied for nearly 4 years about Biden's mental capacity." I was struck by the fact that even in this moment, when President Joe Biden yields, that Trump and Vance continue attacking. This is contrary to UFC rules that UFC President Dana White, who spoke at the Republican National Convention, put in place himself. In the UFC, when someone submits, you stop attacking. You also show respect for your opponent, who made a difficult choice to accept a loss. You'll see UFC fighters who won under these circumstances typically show sportsmanlike conduct at the end of the match and congratulate their losing opponent. That isn't the case here with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. I can't say that I'm disappointed anymore when I hear things like this from the Trump-Vance campaign because I've just come to expect it. Nonetheless, behaviors like this are the reason why Republicans like me left the party in 2016. I have never supported Trump since it was clear that he would win the Republican Party nomination in 2016. Interestingly, I hear from Republicans all the time that the party is united. No, it's not. The current party, comprised mainly of MAGA-type supporters, is united. The rest of us left you a long time ago. We're now unaffiliated independents who think that Donald J. Trump is ridiculous. You know, I used to think that there was no way Kamala Harris could ever win a presidential election given how left-leaning her policies have been. Now, against Donald Trump, I think she has the chance of a lifetime. All she needs to do is move to the center and target disaffected former Republicans, and I think she wins convincingly. I know. MAGA Republicans think I'm crazy. Well, those same types of Republicans thought I was crazy when I said President Obama would win a second term, and he did. I feel as though I've always had a good pulse on the country because I don't live in a partisan echo chamber. As I listened to J.D. Vance speak at the Republican National Convention, I noted that he was a Marine who served in the Iraq War in 2005. I'm also an Iraq War veteran. I was a U.S. Army officer in Anbar Province, Iraq from 2004 to 2005. I was saddened to listen to my fellow service member, J.D. Vance, who I felt had been completely brainwashed and co-opted by Donald Trump and MAGA supporters. He did nothing more than regurgitate Trump's MAGA philosophy, which is no different than what Mike Pence did for Trump when he was the vice president. We get nothing new from J.D. Vance except for someone who might be more relatable on the surface. What I think you should understand, J.D., and I say this as a fellow combat veteran, is that the only reason Trump has you there is because he thinks you have appeal in swing states, mainly Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. He doesn't care about anything else. He doesn't care about you. Please know that I'm a resident of Pennsylvania. I'll be watching out for when you come here to campaign. But let me respond to your quote for a second. I've been an energy developer for 18 years. I've developed natural gas combined cycle plants, natural gas pipelines, renewable natural gas pipelines, wind, solar, and battery storage facilities. I have over $3 billion in capital deployed over that time. I've developed everything in the energy industry except for nuclear power plants. I've done this all over the United States, most recently in the Midwest, specifically Ohio. You should know that there are farmers there who will make a considerable amount of money for solar panels that will go on their properties. These are farmers who don't have any succession options for their farms. They'd like to keep their land, and solar is the best option for their farms. To listen to you call solar development a green scam will only alienate the very farmers whose votes you're seeking. Additionally, the overwhelming amount of power produced in our country comes from natural gas combined cycle and peaking power plants. We've been using the natural gas we have at our disposal for the past decade. I'm amazed at the talking points that I hear from politicians such as yourself when talking about energy policy. I would have thought that an energy expert could have steered you and Donald Trump away from incompetent statements. What I'm seeing from you as you just entered the national stage are a lot of really bad judgments. You say that Kamala Harris will own all of Joe Biden's failures. I hope you realize that you, in similar fashion, will now own all of Donald Trump's failures for the rest of your career. Godspeed, Marine. Hoorah! I'll see you in Pennsylvania.